Now, was it just your, as you put it, your hormones? Mm-hmm. Or do you feel like you was missing something? Do you feel like you was trying to fill a void? Do you feel the fact that you didn't have a male role model to teach you anything? Or did anything happen to you to make you just become extremely sexually active like that?
I do feel like I feel like as far as my attraction to women, or my curiosity with women,
Mm-hmm.
when I was younger, it was like a couple different girls that kind of like they were older, but like just kind of would kind of fill me up sometimes. Like it'd be like my sister, older friend. She would, whenever she would come over, like spend the night or something, she'll like rub up against me and just different things. Like, and she was probably like 7 years older than me. Or like I had a cousin that sometimes would like try to fill me up in different things. So I'm like, maybe that's what kind of got my attraction to girls. But as far as like sexually, I would say when I was younger, I had like different sexual experiences that I shouldn't have had.
How young we talking?
It was before I was in preschool, so I would say like 3, 4 years old. More so, the age of 4 is what I can remember the most. And I had an older sibling that was like 9 years older than me, and he started making like 12, 13 at the time, and he would, like when we were home alone, like have us do different sexual things, whether it was just like rubbing on each other or.
You said when you was 2 or 3?
This was like 4.
About 4.
Yeah.
And the older sibling.
Yeah. So it's like whether it was like rubbing on each other or kissing, and also oral was involved. So it's like at 4 years old, I'm already doing that stuff, and at some point after I don't remember exactly when it stopped, but it did stop. Probably once he started messing with, other girls or whatever of his own age. But I feel like at the time I was like the experiment, to try and, do the things with. But as I got older, I think that's where my hypersexuality stemmed from, because at 5, 6 up, I was already masturbating and, messing with myself. So I think that's what kind of stemmed it. Then, at 12, I actually lost my virginity at 12 years old. And at the time he was older too. He was 17 at the time. And yeah, I lost my virginity. So I was like, I think that would make you pretty, hypersexual, as you kind of grow up and get older, and,
It's unfortunate that so many women got experiences like this.
Yeah.
That stuff that didn't happen to them while they was young.
Yeah.
And what's supposed to be the comfort of your own home.
Yeah.
And it always baffles me how many times it's actually another sibling or family member, or you know what I'm saying, like somebody that's supposed to be looking out for you.
Yeah.
So, like, did you ever tell anybody about?
At the time, no, I didn't tell anybody until not last year, but we're in 2022. I would say the end of 2020 or the beginning of 2021 is when I told my mom for the first time. Well, actually, before I told my mom, I told my boyfriend at the time. And it really just kind of came out of nowhere. What happened was I was watching the R. Kelly documentary on Netflix.
Right.
And I was listening to a part, or we were listening to a part where his brother was kind of just talking about R. Kelly's experiences with his sister, explaining like exactly what his sister did to R. Kelly. And it was like, as I was kind of, my boyfriend asked me a question like, well, what did his sister do to him? Because I guess he wasn't listening. And, I I started telling him what he did, and I was like, as I was talking, I was like, I never said the words out of my own mouth what happened to me, and it was like telling his story kind of made me feel like I was telling my own story, and it was like it kind of hit me all of a sudden because I like all of a sudden I had to step out the room, like I'm trying to talk to him and tell him. I was like, and I like kind of was like, I gotta leave. Well, not leave, but I went to the bathroom, and all of a sudden I'm just breaking down in the bathroom because I never really dealt with it. It was like it was something that I know happened, that I just kind of buried in the back of my mind over the years and everything, and it was just like, dang, why am I getting so emotional over this to where I can't even, function? To the point that I had to go to the living room, and I'm like sitting, I'm trying to calm myself down. So I'm just sitting like legs crossed, just like trying to breathe deep and everything, just because I'm like, I'm hyperventilating at this point. I don't know what's going on. And it was like, I don't know, it was something in me that was just like, you've been suppressed this all these years. Everything that happened to you. And it's like, at some point you're going to have to deal with it. And, I guess that day was that day. You're going to have to deal with it. And then I end up going back to my boyfriend's room. I was like, I got to go. And, he told me not to leave. So he set me down until I got calmed down and everything. And then once I got home, first thing I did was call my mom. For some reason, I felt like in the moment of me feeling how I felt and dealing with something like that, it was like I felt like I needed to tell her, because it was something that was heavy on me, and I felt like, she needed to know. And, when I told her, I think it kind of caught her off guard, but it was like, she was really concerned about, why was I so upset and crying.
So she believed you when you told her?
Yeah, she believed me when I told her. She was more so upset at herself that she didn't know what was going on. Because there were times where, because mind you, this was before I was in school and preschool or anything. So I'm just at home until my mom gets back. And, we left with my dad, but my dad wouldn't really be watching us like he's supposed to, or, he'd be out and about. Right. So, a lot of times it'll be me, my sister, and my brother. And, it'll be a lot of times where, I didn't really want her to go or anything. And
because you knew what was about to
happen. I knew what was going to happen. Or, like, I'll, be waiting at the door. I know exactly what time she get off work. So I'm like, I'm at the door waiting for her to pull up and everything. But it's like I knew what was about to happen, because a lot of times, I would hide before, I would hide because I know, like, he was going to come looking for me, because immediately after, she would leave, it's like, and I'm hiding, he's, calling for me or something, or looking for me. So and I think that made it even worse, because it's like somebody knowing that you don't want to, but it's like, they're gonna find you and have you. I don't know. I felt like out of control.
Cause you so young at that point. It's like, what can you actually do if they,
Yeah. So, I would say that, and along with like other situations.
Hold on, before you keep going, I'm sorry that happened to you. Yeah. I'm glad you was able to find a strip to finally tell somebody.
Yeah.
You ever thought about going to like, therapy or something for that?
I actually have. Okay. I just haven't yet. But I think at some point I will. I feel like just talking about it to somebody and then telling my mama about it, it really helped a little part of me heal. But I do feel like as far as like relationships and things like that, maybe like therapy would help too.